Hello, hello. Welcome to Closing Cuddles. My name is Karen Barrios from the Barrios Co. And today I'm with my turkey in crime, Ray Barrios.
How's it going, everybody? Good to see everyone. It's our holiday episode. Thanksgiving is in how many days? Like 4?
Like 5 days?
Yeah, it's pretty soon.
So we're really excited because our podcast is growing. We've gotten so much great feedback. Thank you so much to all the people who are sharing and talking about our podcast and emailing us, texting us. And I appreciate it so much. Keep giving us feedback. If there's specific topics you want to hear, and let us know, because we want to make sure that we're taking care of your needs. And then also, it's nice to have ideas. I mean, we have a ton of ideas, right? But I mean, it's nice to kind of hear what the audience has to say, because at the end of the day, we're creating this for them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've gotten some comments and feedbacks and different, types of communication from our followers, to where it's like, oh, that's totally an episode. So we already have some stuff lined up just because of what our audience is kind of talking about naturally, which is cool.
Yep. What is it? Seek and you shall receive.
Yeah.
Ask and you shall receive. That's what it is. Well, do you want to share with them what we're talking about today?
Yeah, so we are gonna have some video content, specifically about Thanksgiving that'll come out later on this week. So you'll get that when you guys are eating turkey and falling asleep, eating sweets, eating pie. You'll get something else from us. Just a big thank you to all of our current clients. I don't like saying past clients. They're still our clients. It's just clients that we've closed on.
The Barrios Co community. The Barrios Co family.
So,
they're our tribe, our club.
Yeah. So all of those.
The Barrios Co club.
Yeah, the Barrios Club. But all of those people, so clients we've serviced in the past, we're currently working with right now, and as well as the larger newsletter that we have going out every Tuesday. We'll send something out Thursday, but today, this is still it's a seasonal
thankfulness
theme. Yeah, thankfulness. So we have like the decoration, but it's still kind of a more general topic about what we do as the Barrios Co. and something we felt would be useful for our clients, for other agents. So it's not geared towards just being thankful. It's still kind of that broad knowledge, but on Thursday we will see something that is a little more tailored.
So today's episode is why is it that we receive 5-star reviews? Why do our clients give us 5-star reviews?
And I think the way we titled it exactly was why our clients give us 5-star reviews.
I just said that.
Oh, okay.
No, did I say that? I guess
you said a few different variations.
I said a few different.
We'll see it on the playback.
I'm wearing sunglasses, so it's like throwing me off a little bit. It's like, woo, but.
So yeah, which we're thankful for. So it is. It does fall in line of that. But yeah, so why our clients give us 5-star reviews, and we felt like this was a loaded question because there's a lot of reasons. But when I asked that question to you, I guess how would you open that up?
That is such a great, I think, topic in general. And I think reviews are so important for just any business, right? The first thing I do anytime I want to go to a restaurant, anytime I want to find out whether or not the place is worth going to and paying money, I always look them up on Google. I always look them up on, back in the day, people used to use Yelp a lot. I don't really use that, honestly, ever. I do a lot of Google, and I just really stalk whoever on Instagram or whatever. So, but I think that there is something about not just having an online presence. There's something about hearing personal experiences and hearing from people who have interacted and gone through the process with someone that's important. And in this industry, in real estate, so we're going to talk about a couple of things. First thing I think we can zero into is why it's important to have personal experiences in your reviews. Number 2, and why is it important to have a certain amount of experiences be documented and be shared? And for those newer agents or agents who are looking to get into real estate, why that's important. And, but really, why is it important for the consumer? Why is it important for a buyer and a seller to do that? And then we could also, I think, talk about a little bit of what someone's, not necessarily the how-to, because we could do a tutorial on that, but really, what does that mean from a business owner to receive that personal experience. Because I think that there is something about getting that validation, not that it's needed, especially for someone like in our team and just what we're about. We are big customer service. So we know no deal goes perfect, right? No, there's no such thing as perfection in this industry. But there is something about a client saying, thank you, or saying, I appreciated this, and bringing up specific circumstances, because it really does show, and it really does just show that what you're doing is appreciated. And that means so much to us, but I think that means so much to a business, because businesses need feedback, especially businesses like real estate. They are very person driven. They're all about constantly, everybody runs their business differently. So I think we can focus on those things and talk a little bit about them. So
yeah, I think at least for me, now that I'm on the other side of the curtain, yeah, I think a lot has or a lot's been revealed now that I'm on the other side of the curtain. I'm no longer a consumer. I'm a practitioner of the craft of buying and selling real estate. It's a legal transaction essentially. And yeah, and now I'm here, I realize like the baseline, like the bar is pretty low. And I think it's because there's just a lot, you don't know what you don't know. So you could hear a lot of mumbo jumbo from like a marketing perspective, and it's like you're not doing anything that anyone else isn't doing. Like we all have the same tools, So now that I'm on the other side, it comes back to your product, right? It's product management and product development. And for us, we don't have like a physical, like these are microphone, mic stand, table. These are physical things you can buy. But when it comes to real estate, like your product is essentially your service.
Right.
And I think one thing that we've always focused on was we've always been very product oriented. It's like we all have access to the same MLS. Anytime any agent lists something, it goes
experience oriented, I think is what you meant.
Yeah, experience. Yeah, exactly. We're very focused on like the experience of our clients.
Because people are not products. They are not a product. Like
no, yeah, our service is the product. Like, and so how we craft that so that the experience for the buyers is above what they would normally get. But now that I'm peeking behind the curtains, and I'm actually doing this, I realize like, oh, anytime someone's like, oh, we're gonna put it on the MLS, it's gonna go up to 500. It's like, yeah, but everybody does that. That's not special to your brokerage or special. So I realized I'm like, okay, if this is the baseline, then what is it we're doing from a product development perspective, research and development, that's making what we're doing for our clients more tailored and more specialized, so that they're not just getting Joe Schmo real estate agency service. They're getting something that is custom tailored to their specific needs. And that's what I've realized is like the bar is so low just because most people think like, oh wow, like the agent did X and Y happened. Amazing. But they don't realize that's just kind of it's all fluff the way it's sold through. Like, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, that sounds fancy. But it's like, no, that's kind of the bare minimum.
That's
the bare minimum.
That's kind of what we talked about in our first podcast. Episode. So we talked about how the truth of the matter is this, guys. There's so many real estate agents out there, and they're all going to say they all are here trying to make a living. And I respect people's hustle. Oh, yeah. I respect people that hustle and work hard to a degree. Because there are some things and some schemes and some tactics that are just... like they're just not attractive, even though people think, even though it could create them results. It's unfortunate that sometimes those things create results. So to kind of break it down for somebody who's never bought a house, never sold a house, has never, and I'm going to take these off for a second.
Take them off.
I'm just going to take them off for a second because I feel like I need to speak to you, right? And I think one of the things that I think it's really important if you've never been a buyer, been a seller, or been in a real estate transaction, is for you to understand that when you getting a license, it is very attainable for really anybody. And I think altogether it's an average of anywhere from $300 to $500 as an investment,
depending which route
depending on what route you take, whether you do online or in person, classes. And, but essentially if you pass the test, really
very low barrier of entry.
It's like 3 months of studying, going to online school or in-person school, or 4 months, taking the test. It's like getting a driver's license.
I think it's easier than
to some degree
getting a driver's license in some aspects.
It's very attainable is what I'm saying. So there's so many agents out there, a lot of agents, and the experience and may not always be there, right? And also the background of customer service may not always be there. And I think that it is important for somebody to understand and do their due diligence when they're looking for an agent and not just take someone's word for it, because that's how sometimes people get in trouble. So to kind of break it down, once you become an agent, you sign up with the brokerage, right? And brokerage, like most people have heard of eXp Realty, which is the brokerage we're part of, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, like those are the brokerages, right? That an agent will hang their license, essentially work under for liability purposes, for training purposes, for exposure purposes, for so many things, so many reasons, right? But I think the biggest thing is that once you join that brokerage, and it really is up to each, there's no accountability, right? There is no, not every agent is the same. So, and I'm going a little bit off tangent, but what I'm saying is everybody's running their business.
You're a contractor.
You're a contractor. Perfect.
Yeah.
You're a freelancer, you're a contractor.
You're not even a freelancer, you're a contractor.
You're a contractor.
Yeah, you don't have hours. You basically do your business the way you want.
You do the business the way that you want to do your business. And I think that for me, it is very important to hear why is it that our clients are giving us a 5-star review is because of that personal experience. And I love that what you said, because for us, it's so much more than just helping them buy or sell a house. And when you think about the areas that we service, like Pine Mountain Club, Fraser Park, in Bakersfield, what's the average price point in all those properties? Anywhere from 3 to 500, 3 to 4, you know, and that's pretty attainable, especially in Southern California, where, you know, the next big city after Bakersfield and Pine Mountain is Santa Clarita, Castaic. The average homes there are what, 600, 700 now?
I think they might be like up 7s.
Yeah,
average,
and then after that, you go to, that's why the Valley, it's almost like the unattainable now.
Yeah.
It's like now people are moving to places like Pine Mountain, to places like Bakersfield, because they're getting more for their buck. But I think for us, it's so important to have someone consider holistically what it is to move to these places. So do you want to talk a little bit about just the holistic experience and why it's so important and why we get those 5-star reviews and why their personal experience is like the main focus of this?
I think for us and what we're dialing in, I think
I'll put them back on.
It comes back to a product perspective of we're always trying to improve our product, which is our service, so that our clients just have a good experience for us. And I think those people you're talking about, I call them sales bros. Like those are sales bros. Yep. They're just like, get on the phones. Like that's probably never going to be my brand. And
hey, I invite you, like, or just like the certain things.
Sales bros. Yep. Like they want to hop on a phone call and talk to you and push product down your throat. I'm never going to be that. And I think to a detriment, my business may not grow as fast because of it.
Sure.
But one thing that me and you have always focused on is I think we've given people the real estate experience that we wanted as opposed to the ones that were available. So Karen and I, just from like a servicing perspective, we're the kinds of people that will try to push you out of a deal if we feel like it's not right for you.
Yeah.
Like if we feel it from the bottom of our heart, like we're looking at the inspections, we're looking at things, and we know you're a first time home buyer, or maybe you are experienced, but maybe not in like Pine Mountain Club, where there's a lot of things that can rack up in terms of like cost after you buy something, and we'll disclose it. And I think for us, we've always, and we heard this from a lender. A lender told us this. He's like, you work for the client before your commission.
Yep.
You work as if the commission didn't matter.
Wow.
And it really didn't. I think, I'll say this because we do have a leg up. I still work full time. So the commission,
really doesn't matter.
We don't need it. We don't need the money.
We really don't
Everything
need the
gets
money.
put back into the experience for
We
the
are
clients.
so blessed. Yes.
So I think that's an upper hand. Like if you have the ability to where money doesn't matter, you're going to service your clients' needs before your own. Like I need X out of this person. I think for us,
I see what you're saying, but it really goes back to morals and ethics as well. I think that
that's my point.
Our ethics and our morals are really for serving, loving, empowering, and helping people build that generational wealth. And I think that everything else follows. But there's some people, the truth is, they don't really have your best interest in mind. Anytime I hear an agent put their needs or talk about in the I statement versus client statements, I'm like, ooh, we're in trouble.
And we've had an experience with situations like that.
Many experiences, not just one. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we see it, it's one of those. It's kind of it's behind
It's
the curtains.
cringy.
It's
Like
it's super cringy.
It's like chalk on the board. Like,
and it's one of those behind the
nails on the
curtains thing.
chalkboard.
Yeah, it's behind the curtains. You don't see that as the client, but I think us, we still have like a client mindset because we're not like that real estate sales, but we're not. We're kind of average Joes who have gotten really good at a craft, and we come from more of an advertising background than a sales background.
Well, we're marketers at heart, and I think it's.
So
sometimes I do feel like we're not average, like we really are not. But I think that
average in the sense that I'm not a salesperson. I'm not. My objective is not to close a deal, because you have a lot of these cringy terms like ABC. You know what that means? Always be closing. Like these are just some of the things that are always like floating around. People say it all the time. It's just that's just kind of like bro sales culture.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not that. I'm a pretty normal person because I come at it more from a marketer's perspective. Like as a creative director, I wine and dine my clients. I'm not just trying to close them all the time. It's like, how do we wine and dine you so that we can win the business?
Sure.
It's a very different philosophy than like that used car salesman. Like, I just need to get my commission. I need to get this close. I need to get this sale. And I think because we've approached it from like, the money is going to come. If you have a good product, the money's going to come. It's just if you build it, they will come. You know how to market, they will come. And I feel like we haven't had to resort to like, oh my gosh, we need this to close. Otherwise, it's the end of the world. It's always like, yeah, I want this to close because my client wants his house. But if they're in a bad situation or a negative predicament, I'm going to advise them accordingly.
I can think about 3 experiences, and you know who you are, clients of ours, because we had to talk you off the ledge. We had to say, this house is not worth what you're paying for it. And as much as you love it, we understand this market, and this is not the right price for you. Yeah. And if you settled, you need to count the cost and prepare yourself for that loss now. Or this house is just crazy. Yeah. This flip is wrong, or the pipes in this house, or the configuration, or look at that foundation. Because you know what happens? Because we've experienced this when we've bought our houses. You're so emotional.
Yeah, it's emotional.
It's so emotional.
And
like,
your agent should be that temperate.
We've been our agents when we do deals, when we bought our houses.
Doesn't help, just as emotional. Yeah. You're still like, oh, I want the house. And
I mean, of course, we always get our best deal. We've gotten the best deals on both of our houses. But what I'm saying is, like, we obviously have that brain, but at the same time, there's something about someone saying this is the last house, or this house, there's like 5 people, or there's something about you being in the house that you want and someone else seeing it, which happened when we bought our first house. Nobody was seeing that house. And then the day that we went to go see it again for a second time, there was somebody else there. Yeah. Right. So anywho, we went a little bit off rant, but I think what you're saying is being this cheesy salesperson, and the most important thing when it comes to personal experience in driving that home for a client is not I, but them.
Exactly. And I feel like it's one of this, and I really do mean it, because I don't care about sales volume. And I feel like, to be honest, that's why I think we've grown as fast as we have, is I think you can tell when somebody's lying. Like, people, you may not know a lot about one thing. Like, I don't know a ton as a new buyer, or, I bought my house 10 years ago. I'm trying to sell it. I'm not fresh with the way the market's currently going. You may not know certain things, but whether you have the expertise in the field, the one thing you do have is that intuition to be like, there's something off about this person. I feel like I'm being sold.
It's like the vibe. It's what now millennials and Gen Z.
The vibe.
The vibe.
I hate that term, but yes, it's you catch a vibe on somebody.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I get calls all the time of people wanting me to work for them for free, and it's not going to happen. Agents out there, that's why there's referrals. That's why there's structures the ways that they are, because you need to carry and own your own. And we're going to do a class. We should do a class for new agents on that, because some people don't have the same ethics, don't have the same standards, and you really need to be able to pivot and redirect them to what's important, which is the client at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. I mean, some people just have different perspectives. And it goes back to mindset. If you have a scarcity mindset, you're going to be like, I need this check because I don't know when the next one's going to come. So, and you're going to, my thing is, when you're coming from a place of desperation, you're going to make very different choices than when you're coming from a place of confidence.
Yep.
And when you're in a place of desperation, you're probably not you're going to be clouded to make a smart choice for yourself and for your client. And so I think at the end of the day,
I'm thinking a very real situation that happened to us, and it's just cringy.
Yeah, super cringy. We'll probably talk about it later because this just happened. But yeah, I feel like the 5-star just came from good servicing and being honest with people.
It's about them.
Yeah, there's nothing fancy. I do think we do service like pretty soon. Oh, I mean, we're working some stuff out where our clients will have a place to stay when they're shopping in PMC, but we're putting money. Yeah, it's exciting. We're putting money back into the business so it's better for you. You guys have more tools that you're, accessible to you guys to make good decisions when you're shopping or selling.
Right.
But I think even more than that, getting 5-star. And when I say 5-star, because some people do buy reviews, like it's just a real thing. They'll go. There's places to solicit, and you'll see these people that have like 3 years of experience, but like 80 reviews. It's like, you didn't get that, dude. Come on. Like,
some people pay for the reviews. We've never paid for reviews. We've never had someone write a review just to write it.
I think the easiest way to gauge that is if it has stars and there's nothing on it, there's a good chance it's fake. Like Google is just known for businesses. People do it all the time, not just in real estate, but like restaurants. They'll have tons of reviews, but they're just like bots. Like they're not even real accounts.
I love that our reviews are just so heartfelt.
Well, that's my thing is like, it's like we can make a book out of what people write, and it's you go through it and they tell you the story through their POV. It was like, oh my gosh, we felt so lost. So
let's pivot a little bit. So the first thing I think we touched upon why is it that our clients give us a 5-star review? Personal experience. It's about them, not us.
Yeah,
right?
Just empathy for their situation.
As simple as it's about them. It's about you. And that's I think one of the reasons why our clients do give us a 5-star review. And but let's pivot a little bit and talk a little bit about just that personal experience. Why is it important to have our clients share that about our business?
Well, I think it's just reciprocity. If they had a good experience, they're just sharing, kind of the road ahead for some other people. That's the way I see it, is because when I'm looking at reviews, I want real stuff. Like I want to know what sucks about it. I want to know what's good about it. I want to know what's great about it.
Right.
I want to know if I go to that establishment, I'm going to get what it is I'm going to that place to get. And so when our clients, we give them like an outline of like, hey, these are just some honest questions. There's no bias. You can answer them to the most, to your ability to answer honestly, do it to the best of your ability. And it always comes back with just, it's kind of the same story. It's like the insecurity they started with, like we came to a new city or we came to a new place. And they're speaking to people that are in the same season of life. And so when you see those things written, you're like, oh wait, that's me. Like I'm in that season right now. Like
right.
I'm feeling weird because I want to move here. I can afford a house here, but am I going to make it? Or am I going to meet somebody that's going to take advantage of me? Like there's so many insecurities going into like buying a new house, and then to see that person's journey, and then it's like, oh, then Karen did X, Y, and Z. And we couldn't have been happier because we dodged a ton of bullets, but now we're in a good place because of it. So really, you're just showing people like, hey, it's like it's a green check. Like this is a safe establishment without them having to take that risk. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why it's important, and that's why we ask for it, because it's a simple gesture to us. It's like it's a thank you from them. We get encouragement of it. It's the season of thanks. We're thankful for all of the clients that have left us.
And we're going to touch on that a little bit more.
Heartfelt reviews.
But I love what you shared, because, I mean, the first point, why do clients give us a 5-star review, is because, one, it's about them.
Yeah.
It's about them. And I think genuinely our why is you as a client. And anybody that's worked with us knows that and understands that, because there's no such thing as a perfect transaction. And we probably had a few bumps in the road with your transaction, or maybe we didn't. And I have had some really smooth ones, but there's always something that comes up, especially when someone is relocating. So I love that, because the number one reason is their heart. Their heart speaks. The number two reason I really think is because it's important for you to share what you know with other people. That's why we're doing this podcast. Yeah. It's always better to give than to receive. It really is always better to give than to receive. And I love to give to my clients of my time. I love to give them of my resources. I love to give them of peace, of joy, of hope every time we're in a transaction. I always speak to you from a place of love, from a place of faith, from a place of understanding and knowing that everything will be okay, because it is. Because I'm the leader of the ship and I am taking care of this for you while you're hiring me. So I just kind of wanted to share a little bit share a couple of reviews. Is that okay? Because I thought
share a good one. There's a ton.
There's so many. Like, I mean, these are just long and long and long.
That's a scroller. Yeah.
This one's really awesome. But I wanted to share, and this is a couple, and you know who you are. And this is what they said. Jumping into the housing market for the first time, and this was 2 months ago. Jumping into the housing market for the first time, we couldn't have had better allies. Oh, I love that word. Than Karen and Raymond. Thank you. And Lizette and Jordan. Both were incredibly generous with their time and expertise, set the bar high and professionalism in the real estate industry. Over the course of 5 months, we looked at a dozen of homes in various locations and climates and conditions, and their advice saved us from more than a few potential missteps. Specifically, their background in mountain homes was helpful when looking into homes in remote desert areas, which almost always use septic and sometimes well water. True. The first home we put an offer on had significant unpermitted work done, and their expertise with permitting appraisals helped us decide the property wasn't the right investment for us. Once we found the right one, they coordinated with agents, contractors, and professionalisms to get the inspections done quickly, and all the best people we worked came at their recommendation. When an unpermitted addition became a sticking point for a lender, they recommended a loan agent who was able to turn around a loan agreement at the 11th hour. I remember this deal. We couldn't be more grateful for Karen and Raymond's effort and advocacy, and looking forward to staying in touch and working together again in the future. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I take it personal. Like I see this is my rule of thumb.
Yes.
Is if I can have a conversation with this person with a straight face a year from now, I'm not doing a good job from them. Like if I'm going to feel embarrassed about that transaction,
right.
I'm going to advise them differently. That's just my rule of thumb. Is I want to follow up with you in a year and be excited. Like, what's happened? What's new? Have you done any improvements? I don't want to be like, man, I knew there was 1,000 things wrong with that and they were in over their head.
Right.
I can't do that. Like, I want to have a close connection with all of my past clients. And I feel like that's always my rule of thumb is I got to ask myself, making this decision right now and advising them, am I going to be able to talk to them with a straight face a year from now? And if I can't, then I'm not advising them to according to my not even screw the fiduciary responsibility, just as a person. Like if this was my friend or my family member, would I want them to go down this path knowing that I have further insight as to what they're going to walk into? So that's always my rule of thumb. But I feel like with them, they're cool. Like I love them. Like they're awesome clients. Like
they're great friends.
We have dinners planned at some point once they're settled in. But like that's kind of our expectation is like,
I know
we care about you as a person, and that's why we're very finicky with who we work with. We are at the end of the day.
Well, we always, just as you interview us, we interview you because we want to make sure it's a good partnership in both ways, that everything is explained, that expectations. We work with this specific couple, like you heard, 5 months. So they were in connection with us, and even after we ended the transaction, they're like, we're going to miss talking to you. We were talking to you almost every day. And when we gave them their keys, it was so special. We all took photos, and it was such a great memory for them because this was their first home and they really wanted this house. And at the 11th hour, like they shared, something happened with their previous loan with another lender. And then, was able to refer one of my, preferred lenders, and it worked out. So all this to say is that, again, it's better to give than to receive. So thank you, Lizette and Jordan, for giving of your experience. We honor your experience so that other people could have an opportunity to work with us and understand what we're about. I think I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And I think it boils down, again, it goes back to me seeing behind the curtains. And this industry is like up there with politics. Like real estate agents are hated as much as politicians, lawyers, like all of those scumbag careers. And I think it's because there is a lot of sales bros out there. They just want to close. They always be closing. They're
sleazy
ABCs. So I just feel like coming into this, my I think both of us, our motivation has always been like, how do we just help people? As if like, if
Absolutely.
assuming like that's your mom, it's somebody's mom. So it's like, it's treating those people with like respect and taking care of them. And it's one of those things where we haven't really been focused on like the sales volume, but it's come.
Well, we always
You know what
have
I mean?
goals. We have
Yeah,
great
we have our
goals.
goals,
We
but
have metrics. But yes, at the end of the day, you can't control, you can't force the buyer. Like we actually wrote a couple offers with them, but
mm,
we also discouraged them. Not discourage them, but just encourage
we
them,
disclosed.
advise
Yeah.
them as we were going through some escrows because they were there was a couple things that came up
Yeah.
in that situation. So I just share that to say that everything is so unique for every transaction. But when I get a client's review, again, we do all that we do for the best interest at heart for you. We're not perfect. And I mean, I recently got a call from another, client. I think I brought this up in our last episode where, he had a concern about a fireplace. And I love working with this couple. They're incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that they're part of Pine Mountain Club. And now he's looking into, some things in regards to his fireplace situation. And, but it's one of those things where in that moment, you advise your client as best as you can. Get the
Mm-hmm.
inspections, make it happen, because you just never know what can come about
Yep.
in certain instances. So, and again, I want to make sure that they're taking care of every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not an expert at, chimneys. I'm not an expert at fireplaces. I'm not a contractor. I'm really just here to do the real estate transaction of it. So I think that even after closing is what I'm saying, even though you have issues, obviously there's going to be a limitation as to what I can and cannot help you with, but I'm here to just be a listening ear and redirect you to the resources that I can, and make sure that you're taken care of. But can I read one more?
Yeah,
I know they're a
it.
little long, but this is another great couple, and they moved, and I had worked with them for months too. And I just kind of wanted to share again, another really long,
Another scroller.
another really great, story. And again, we send every time we close, we send, and we could do a tutorial for agents as to how we get our reviews and what we ask of our clients. But this is all their personal experience. It's not like we tell them what to write or anything, but
I'm surprised sometimes. I'm like, oh, and then they send back this thing. I'm like, whoa.
it's amazing.
It's encouraging.
Yeah.
Though.
So, but it's important again. So point number one, it's all about you, and you know that we work all around for you. But two, it's better, it's about you. It's about them. It's better to give than to receive, because it really does help other people see what it is to work with us. I always tell them, like, this helps me share with other people what it really is like working with the Barrios Co., Karen and Raymond. So they said, this post has been a long time coming, not because we are short on what to say, but because we have been wrapped in this new life that is our home in Pine Mountain Club. Thanks to Karen Barrios. We have never heard of this place until one day, we had not heard of this place until July 2021. My husband and I decided to drive out to Fraser and go beyond that and explore. As we drove out to PMC, we saw this personable face on a sign with a big bright smile. It was one of Karen's listings. We saved her details, and the rest was history. Because of the pandemic, my husband had spoken only to realtors he had found online and through email. We had a lot of questions as first-time home buyers, and it can feel like a gamble. Isn't that true?
Mm-hmm.
It's always like a gamble. Yeah. But Karen was different. The moment my husband first talked to her, he was impressed by how genuine she was. Oh, I appreciate that, guys. Jennifer and Nixon. We met her within weeks' time, and she answered all of our questions and got back to us with more knowledge. She wasted no time. That is true. We connected them right away to a lender, and I'm so happy. They have such a beautiful house.
Yeah, their house is awesome.
Their house is incredible.
I want that house.
I actually want that house. I would have bought that house too, and I love it because it's a one story newer property, great view, great lot, and great. And they bought at the right time. They bought at the right time.
They got a good price.
What sets her apart is that she actually lives the mountain life. She sees the ways and days out in Pine Mountain Club. I can honestly say everything she promised, such as in community, it made sound like such as during snow days has happened. Oh, so I think she was trying to say, I know sometimes when we're typing, there's typos, but I think what she was trying to say is that everything that I promised and share about the community in regards to the snow happened. As a mother of 2 small children, I am grateful for her knowledge and help. She understood the season of my life that my husband and I were in and found us the perfect home and the deal we felt comfortable with. Ugh, I'm getting emotional just reading these. All from the first meeting. She also got us in touch with a great lender. So grateful for that. And that lender also had a couple missteps. You know, things happen things happen in the world of real estate. Furthermore, I will tell anyone thinking of buying from of Karen to ask all those questions, to trust her, but also to try to understand the market as to where it's at. Real estate is always changing, but when there's a will, there's a way, and she's got it. Oh, thanks so much, guys. I've read these and I always respond to them, but it's nice to kind of go back and read them. But what do you think, like when you hear this about a client's experience, like what do you think about, like if you didn't know us, if you didn't know me and you were just looking for a realtor, what would you think?
But after reading that?
Yeah.
I think I would want to interview you at the very least. That's just me though. I mean, I'm very analytical. I would still interview you, but I feel like one thing that I learned also working in this is there's a lot of agents that have a footprint. And I'm talking people that have been doing this like 40 years. If you Google their name, they don't exist. It's like they're Jason Bourne. They have no internet footprint at all. And so for us, we're everywhere. So you'll have a little bit of taste ever. So, I mean, I would read that and then I would just keep digging like, oh, she's got a Google, she's got a YouTube, she's got an Instagram. And then I would just do my research and then I feel like, but that's just, it's like, okay, that's a real person. That's not a bot writing that. Like that somebody had a genuine experience and they went out of their way to
share it in detail.
Share it with me. And I read that and that just gives me like, I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. Like I have had a dream of moving to the mountains or I can't afford San Fernando Valley. I'm thinking of Bakersfield, but like, can I make it out? Like, am I going to be able to make it in that area? Mm-hmm. And I feel like just reading stuff like that is like, okay, people have done this. Like people have been in my shoes and they've made it happen. So let's just give her a call and see what happens. So I feel like it's cool. It really does. I think it builds a lot of confidence in somebody who's shopping for a property in such a niche environment.
This is our niche. Most recent one. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, sure. The one at the top.
Yeah.
This is another cool one that we got. Karen and Raymond were a pleasure to work with and helped me and my husband purchase the perfect home. This was our first home buying experience, and I'm so grateful we had them both to walk us through the process. Karen was always available to answer our questions and made the whole experience such a breeze and stress-free. Even after closing, she's still on hand. She's still on hand to answer our questions. And yes, closing is only one part of the transaction.
It is only one. They're remodeling their kitchen. This couple, Charlie and Marcus. So I know that they're working on it.
Yeah, and support us in any way she can. I couldn't recommend them higher enough if you're in the market to purchase a home. Aww. So again, just another thoughtful.
There's so many guys. If you want, you can go and look us up on Google. Yeah. You can look us up on Zillow, Realtor.com, Rate My Agent, really everywhere and read the experiences.
But from
this is really unscripted. Like we really are just sharing, and I just felt compelled to read. So I hope you guys are on board of that.
No.
But
I feel like practically,
it's important to share experiences.
Yeah, and then practically, I feel like all of those came about because. I think you do a good job of bringing like a certain level of humanity back to.
We both do.
An industry of it's a transaction driven industry. Let's be honest. So it's nice when you meet somebody. It's like, oh, this person, they just love what they do.
A lot of agents, the truth is, and it goes back to our first point, we're all about you. It's all about them from our perspective, right? It's about the client. But for a good portion of the real estate industry, unfortunately, which is why we were talking about how important it is to vet, it's all about the money. They really just want to make a commission. And it's unfortunate when I hear an agent be so concerned or overly concerned about them getting the money or getting the transaction.
That's a whole different, I can go into that. This will be a 3-hour podcast
right,
if I talk about that.
But what I'm saying is that that is the heart of our business. But I think that it's important for our clients to share this. So we appreciate when you guys write reviews. If you haven't written a review yet and need a link and want to write something for us because you're getting this in your mailbox, we would really appreciate it because I want to honor people's stories. The best way people learn is through storytelling. You know what a couple of buyers learn from those stories? They learn that they could do it too.
Yeah.
That it's going to take some time, that they're going to have to be patient, that their finances are going to, be looked at. Some of my clients couldn't believe that they could afford a home. And they really believed that all they had was to rent. And we got them to a place where they could. So even if you have to wait 3 months, 5 months, 10 months, and I get emotional because we want to get you into a home. I want them to grow that equity. I want them to have that security. As an immigrant to this country, I understand what it is to feel like you don't have much. And I want people to have something for them. Now that we have multiple homes and when we own, we're growing in our portfolio of real estate, we understand and we value what we have and we worked really hard for it. So, and then also if you're a seller too, I'll just read a really quick one from some of our best buds. They're now in San Antonio. And again, this is really spur of the moment, guys. You can skip through if you want, but I just kind of want to share this one. Karen Barrios is a hardworking, conscientious realtor who responded quickly to any question we had. She has an uncanny ability to combine real estate experience with social media talent and attract a multiple of buyers and sellers. We love our social media here at the Barrios Co. Raymond is a genius at photography, videography, and capturing quality drone footage to accurately present all the selling features. Together, Karen and Raymond Barrios are the unmatched team, talent, expertise, and real estate savvy. You will not regret hiring them to work with you. So again, I know I talked to buyers, but I wanted to just quickly say to the sellers that first of all, our marketing is unmatched. Like we are every house. We have like our standard stuff, and but then every house is so unique that we do. So it's not impossible. If you want top dollar, if you want to understand the market, we're here to teach you. So I just kind of wanted to bring those points up because I think it's really important to understand that the unique, you want to consider those things.
Yeah. Well, this is a quick riff. I feel like there's a lot of deep dive topics in this in terms of how we develop our product and we're always trying to improve it. Like everywhere, we're always trying to add something to our offering. So there's a differentiation, right? There's something unique about that specific. It's a UPS, right? Unique selling proposition or USP. So we're always trying to make our USP beneficial to everybody that works with us. So you're not just getting like baseline bare minimum service that everybody pitches as unique, right? They pitch it as something that's different. Like we're always trying to come up with ways where it's actually different. Like you still get the baseline stuff,
and
but
we're still growing too because there's things that I want to do even bigger and better. But I'm also
takes time. Yeah.
Building a business takes time.
Takes time.
All my clients, you're going to be loved up on for years and years and years. And in different ways and different phases. So
yeah, but that's a future episode.
Just
like,
wait.
we should do an episode just where we talk about how to actually find someone in your area who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Because I'll tell you this much in real estate, it's not about years of experience. It's about your rolling 12. That's the most important number. So it doesn't matter.
What is rolling 12?
So your rolling 12 is how many deals you've actually closed in the last 12 months.
Good.
So it doesn't.
Thanks for sharing that.
It doesn't matter. You can find an agent who's been doing it. He's been in the business for 80 years. If his rolling 12 is like 4 deals, don't work with that person. Is not worth working with because they don't know what they're doing. Because the market, literally, we've had some changes in the laws just in like the last year where we're having to like pivot and adjust. And if you're not constantly in transactions, you don't know what's changing in the laws.
I know. I had a conversation with, I admire this agent so much, but unfortunately, they weren't aware of something that I'm like, oh wow, like. And they said it. Oh, it's because I haven't really been in production this year, and I just thought, ooh,
yeah, that's big. Yeah.
So you still have to educate. You just have to constantly educate yourself and constantly be
Being
learning. And
helps.
again, we're not perfect. I can't emphasize that enough to our clients, but we do the best that we can in every season.
Yeah, and I'll be the first one to say, like,
we don't know everything.
We don't know everything. We're far from perfect, but I think we do. Our effort really goes towards like you said, the experience. We want to make sure
Correct.
you are having a good
And that we
experience from beginning
close,
to end,
and that we
then closing
close,
it.
and that you get the best deal possible.
Yeah, but that's a
The
like
last point, I know that we've gone a little bit longer than expected on this one, but what I was going to say is, okay, so the first point I feel like I really wanted to focus on is our motivation, our big why, and our big why is our clients. Another reason why we get 5 reviews, I think, is 5-star reviews, is because I think it's important for our clients to share their experience and pay the way for future clients. And then the third, point that I kind of want to do, us talk a little bit about is, do you remember the last point that I talked about earlier today?
I didn't. We've been riffing. I don't know if there's any points. We've just been
It's
building.
not really points. I mean, obviously we're having conversations, but the last thing I wanted to focus on in regards to why is it that why our clients give us a 5-star review is the edification, the admonishment, the thanks, the encouragement that we get. Why is it important for someone to say thank you for a service? I know we get paid, and I get it. And I know some clients might say, well, you got paid, I don't need to leave you a review. But why is it important to, as a business owner, as a new business owner, as newer realtors, as someone that's growing their business, why is it important to hear that feedback?
Well, it makes us better. I think when we get honest reviews, we know if we're doing something right or if we're doing something wrong or if there's ways that we could improve. It's how we dynamically improve our business. So it's important to us that we have that dynamic feedback, because it's going to kind of help guide our Q1, Q2, Q3. Like we can pivot real time. It's like, okay, this could have been better. And I think that's how we've made our product offering in PMC so unique, is just, it's all been feedback.
I appreciate that you share that. Yeah, I think that we want to get better. And I think that things that it's not just, oh, I just want praise, I just want to feel good about myself. It's really you giving me your feedback. It's you sharing your story of thanks. And I think there is something about you also giving to people. I mean, I love leaving reviews wherever I go, especially if it's a small business. I mean, we were just at Boot Barn today getting some stuff, and there was a small business, and I did a story real quick, gave her a shout out, said why I was excited to work with them. I still haven't bought anything, but my initial experience with them.
Oh, what was their name?
Jules. I don't remember, but
I thought you were talking about Boot Barn. I'm like, that's not a small company.
No. They were inside Boot Barn.
Yeah,
they were designing
doing the hats, right?
They were designing hats, and it was just so great. And again, it's a woman-owned business, and there was about 3, girls. I followed them on Instagram right away, and they were just super incredible. And I haven't bought anything from them, but my initial connection with them, I shared that much. I said, I am excited for, me submitting my custom order because I want that hat. So like I was, because that was important for me to share from a business to a business. It's important for us to lift each other up, but from a buyer to a business, it's important when you see talent and when you appreciate someone to cultivate that and communicate that. I think it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think
for the improvement, but then really also for growth and expansion.
Yeah, I agree. So I think, we're taking all that feedback. Like we have a boot camp we've been talking about, because there's just those again, these are all from client experiences. So this is idea. You guys will probably see this in a month or so, but we get the same questions every time in PMC and in Bakersfield. Like, what is this? How do I do that? How do I do this? And
we're going to do a boot camp for you
there's
guys.
there's like a thread that goes through, and it's just questions that people always fall on that thread. It's always the same questions. So we just figured the best thing we could do is just make like a video boot camp where you know exactly where you know exactly what to expect when moving to a place.
Yeah, I don't mind taking an hour or 2 of my day, and sometimes I do, or a couple minutes, or email back the same information, I've emailed before.
Yeah.
It's fine, I think, but it's nice to have a video format because everybody learns differently.
Well, and you can reference, like, you're not going to remember a phone call.
Right.
But you can reference a video like, oh, Karen had a ton of really great information in this one boot camp. Let's just reference that.
Excited.
So that's one thing we're working on, because...
Give us your feedback. Like and subscribe to this video if you're enjoying this content. And please comment below.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Because I think it's important for us to kind of hear from you what is sticking and working and what isn't.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be like, that's one example of us just hearing feedback or seeing needs and we're going to build an aspect of product. It's going to come out of our budget. We're going to build it. That's going to be free of charge to all of our clients. So it's like when you're moving these communities, you have an entire walkthrough of what to expect, and then you still have us on the phone for any direct questions.
Correct.
So that's one aspect. Like we're just trying to innovate every week, and I think it boils down to it's not so much about, again, it's about the clients. It's not about the outcome. Like we want to get you in a house, but we want to make sure it's the right house in the right situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, everything that can surround that objective and make that better. I feel like that's why we've been growing as much as we had, is because we've been very product and client focused above anything else.
Yeah, it's about them, and we're always trying to get better. You know, I feel like I'm the top agent in Pine Mountain Club this year, and in many different ways, I just feel really proud of what we've built, and I know that I'm going to keep getting better. I'm not perfect, nor have I handled every decision or, you know, in building my business perfectly, but I feel like I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm doing it because I really want to be the best that I can be. So I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the encouragement as well. And I appreciate you honoring us with your experience and your truth, because I want other people to see your review, and I want people to understand your experience, and not just as another review, another 5-star. I want them to really connect with that. And from a human level, believe that they can too. Believe that they can sell that house. Believe that they can get someone on their side to walk them through the finance process, and get them into the home. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. So that's why that's how we get it.
Yep.
It's complicated. It's never the same. I feel like every 5-star review has a story. And it's
today's
never cookie cutter.
video was really about the heart of the matter.
Yeah.
We and again, all of our videos are very unique. We talk about it. We kind of have an idea of what we're going to talk about every video, but I feel like it's really also nice to talk about from the overflow of our heart what we think, what our strategies are, and I hope you guys enjoy today's podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Because for us, we take it personal. That's at the end of the day, because we take it personal, the result has always been
I love that tagline.
raving.
For us, we take it personal.
Yeah.
For us, you are personal. For us, your family is personal, and you're part of our family. You're part of the Barrios Club, the Barrios family. And this community is really about empowerment, about love, about serving. And because that's what our family dynamic is, and that's what we want to do. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add?
No, it's good. I mean, for agents, I would just say it seems counterintuitive sometimes. Like you might have to drop out a couple escrows because it doesn't make sense for your clients. But one thing me and you have learned is like it comes back. It really does.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I don't have that scarcity mindset. I was just talking to an agent that it was a little cringy conversation because they were so focused on
that one boiled my blood.
Getting the commission.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said is I got to stop you there, because I want to remind you that this business in real estate is really all about not having this scarcity mindset. It's things are going to come and go, and that's just the way of it. We had another client that we didn't have the best experience. They wanted to hire us to list their home, and unfortunately the way that they were communicating with us just wasn't respectful. So I declined from moving forward and representing that individual, and they are, moving forward with somebody else that I know, and that's okay. And I, see that their house is in escrow, and that's incredible. But then I just got a call for another listing for me, and that. So I'm saying that we are not going to subscribe to anything unethical, or that it's not going to put our values and our ethics and our beliefs first. And we want to make sure that we really are just doing it with the best knowledge that we can too.
Yeah.
And we don't always know everything. So that's the truth.
Yeah, we don't.
So.
But yeah. So that's our commitment, our word. We will never be sales bros. We will always care about our clients.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, thanks. I think just a happy Thanksgiving, and
yeah, well, Thanksgiving is coming up, and we're going to be celebrating with family. And we really hope that if you like this video, you like, subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to our newsletter. Everything will be linked down below. And we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. We are really excited for Thanksgiving. So we're thankful for you, and we're thankful for all the 5-star reviews. So now you know why our clients give us 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.